Welcome inside the Hedges Conference Room inside Thomas Commons, here on the campus of Cornell College. My name is Jumpin' Jack Carlson, and I'm a first-year student for the Rams.
I'm Nathan Waters, and I'm a senior here at Cornell.
I'm Brevin Hahn, and I'm also a senior here at Cornell.
So Brevin, Nathan, and I will be your hosts for this episode of the Hilltop Sports Report. It's time to hit the music and start the show.
Let's go Rams! Let's go Rams!
This is episode 2 of the Hilltop Sports Report. A special thank you goes out to Grace Marty, Rory Light, and Olivia Richards for coming on to the podcast for episode 1. I also want to thank everyone who tuned in for episode 1, and I think we've got a good show for you here in episode 2. As you heard in the introduction, I'm joined inside this conference room by Nathan Waters and Brevin Hahn, and those two will be my co-hosts for this episode. Later on in the show, Nathan and Brevin will give their thoughts on the first 2 track and field meets of the 2023 campaign and also give a preview for the upcoming Hilltop Invitational for the track and field programs. Also, Nathan, Brevin, and I will get you up to speed on recent and upcoming wrestling, men's basketball, and women's basketball events. But before we get any further, I figured that we should get to know Nathan Waters and Brevin Hahn just a little bit. So who exactly are my co-hosts? Let's find out after the music. Both Nathan Waters and Brevin Hahn are members of the men's track and field program here at Cornell College. Brevin Hahn is also an offensive lineman on the football team. But as we begin this podcast with some preliminary questions, the main goal is outside of sports. So let's get into a few questions of that variety. It's time to get to know Nathan Waters and Brevin Hahn. Question number 1 for you two: chocolate or vanilla ice cream? A very important question.
Do we get to put toppings on the vanilla ice cream?
It's all up to you.
It's all up to me. All right. So if you were going to, like, let's say Dairy Queen, for example, or not Dairy Queen, but like Chick-fil-A or someplace, just like, if you're going for a shake, okay, chocolate shake is where you go for, okay? It's always, first of all, who gets a vanilla shake? No one gets a vanilla shake, okay? But no, that's just for shakes. Now, if we're talking about ice cream and you can put toppings on it, vanilla is obviously superior because, vanilla it's a good base of the pyramid of ice cream that you're going to be getting. And then you can put sprinkles on it. You can put different syrups on it. But I will have to say chocolate ice cream, all right? Because you put chocolate syrup on vanilla. So obviously chocolate's probably pretty good.
Okay, so chocolate from Brevin. What do you say, Nathan?
I also say chocolate. I don't think I can say it much better than what Brevin just did, but I absolutely agree with everything he just said there.
Okay, so question number 2. For athletic events, do you watch it in television or do you prefer to be in person?
I prefer it in person personally because I'm more into college sports, rather than professional sports, and just the atmosphere there is just so much more intense because everybody's just playing because they're having fun and everything there.
How about you, Brevin?
I've been an Iowa fan since I've been born, and I've been going to Kinnick Stadium my whole life. I've had the same tailgating spot my whole life. My parents have taught me how to tailgate, and so I will obviously have to say going to the event is better because you can also hang out with people and drink liquids with other people and have a fun time with other people while you're at those events too. I've also been to the Chiefs Stadium as well, down in Kansas City. First of all, the food there is great, and second of all, it like Nate said, it was definitely a better atmosphere being there. It's also fun to be at behind this TV screen and you might not know much about the sport, and you can kind of say what you want without somebody else saying next to you yelling back at you in a maybe intoxicated way. But I will probably have to say being at the event is better.
Okay, AirPods or headphones?
Headphones, easily. I love my headphones, and I will never get rid of them. I have a nice pair of Beats headphones, and they're just perfect for everything I do.
AirPods never stay in my ears. I try putting them in there, and then it's oh, you're done. And plus, noise canceling headphones are just it's glorious. You have someone nagging at you because your room's not clean or something like that. Pop those suckers on.
say I'm just not listening to you. I've just got these noise canceling. I'm good. Okay, so what's your go-to fast food restaurant?
I think I'm gonna have to go with Pancheros because Mexican food is just my favorite food, and Pancheros, you can just get everything you want inside a burrito and just get as much stuff and just be so filled up after it. And then after track meets or stuff like that, get everything you just need, you just worked out of you, just right back into you, and it's just perfect.
But Pancheros doesn't have a to-go window, so How is that fast food?
You can take it to go. Like, you can just wrap it up.
Yeah,
and,
but fast food is supposed to be fast. You're walking in. You're wasting time.
You walk in
You're
and walk
wasting
out.
energy walking into a building.
Give me my food now, man.
I want to drive by the building and like I want number 2. Go up the window. Here's number 2.
Just order it online and walk in, grab it, come out.
That's too much work. You're making fast food like normally speeded food. That's
What's
what you're
your
doing
answer
right now.
then?
You know what? I'm gonna go Hardee's. Yeah.
Hardee's.
I've been living in Mount Vernon the past 4 years, and that Hardee's, sometimes it's a little busy, but if I want 40 chicken tenders, they give me 40 chicken tenders. All right.
No questions asked.
No questions asked. And then it's like they're like, what sauces do you want? I want all of them. And like, that's when they know it's like, okay, we want you're giving this guy 10 of each sauce, okay?
Do you just want honey mustard? No, I want all of them.
I want all of them.
All of them. Yeah, just all of them.
And then they give me like a little thing of like ranch with it too. I mean, packaged ranch is not bad actually. But that's why I'm saying fast food. You drive by the window, you get it, and you go. Poncheros is not fast food. That is a nice sit-in restaurant. All right.
Okay, so we've got some controversy here inside the conference room. We'll see if that works itself out. So getting into the sports realm now, pre-meet, do you go music or no music to get focused in?
If I'm not listening to Phil Collins in the air tonight before a meet, then I'm probably going to do garbage. Because it gets to that point in the song to where it's like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. If that does not get somebody hyped, then you're an alien, okay? Like, you're not from here, all right? That's all I have to say about that. It's definitely music.
Yeah, music all the way. You have to get yourself hyped up, and then you can't just like sit there in silence staring at a like blank white wall and be like, all right, I'm ready to run.
Why does it have to be a wall, huh?
What, okay, staring at the ceiling.
What if you're staring out the window of a bus? Because, we only have one home meet, one indoor, one outdoor. By the way, you should come to our home meet this weekend. So, yeah.
We'll talk about that later on in the program to get you ready for the Hilltop Invitational. So, favorite team to root for? I see Chicago Bears here. Number 1 pick, NFL draft. Are we going for Bryce Young or are we sticking with Justin Fields?
We're sticking with Justin Fields. I just want to say, whoever started this Bryce Young rumor is full of it, okay? Justin Fields is the future, all right? Now, I'm not saying he's the best dual threat quarterback right now, but he has the potential to be, all right? He's clearly, the best quarterback in Chicago history. I'm making this statement right now, yes. It's not Jay Cutler, it's not Jim McMahon, it's freaking Justin Fields.
Mike Lennon, watch out.
But anyways, Chicago's draft, it's going to happen by, trading back with some team that's going to, trade the house for Bryce Young.
Wow, so all that. Wow, I didn't know we were going to get into that. But, okay, so no Bryce Young, according to Brevin Hahn.
Bryce Young.
Okay, do you have a favorite team to root for?
Dallas Cowboys. And mostly for the fact of being and Brevin are able to, go back and forth with one another about who we support more and who we dislike about our teams and who we love about our teams, and just fun to have that rivalry. And then whenever the Cowboys beats the Bears, it just adds a little bit of extra spice to the friendship we got going.
Yeah, but we do agree on one thing about the Cowboys. Our favorite players are on their offensive line.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Good, you're in agreement on that
yes,
then.
that's the only thing we're in.
Okay, so now getting into the track and field aspect of things. If you didn't play track and field here at Cornell, what sport would you have played?
See, I was a really big basketball guy. Basketball is my favorite sport to play by far. But the only problem is I'm a 6'2" center, and then you'll go and look at Logan Sharp, who's 6'8", 6'9". So then the size difference isn't really exactly in my favor. So hence why I had to stick with the track and field, in which I did back in high school as well. But if I had to choose, absolutely basketball by 100 miles.
How about you, Brevin? Would you have any other sport other than track and field or football?
I don't know. See, I did wrestle back in high school, but I don't know. It takes a lot to be a wrestler, and I don't have that for me per se. And cutting weight and not eating, which gotta love the calf food. Am I right? Ha ha ha. Anyways, but no, I don't think I could do wrestling in college like that. Those guys are they're cutting weight and doing stuff I don't ever want to do ever again. But no, in the glare I can see esports is popping off over there, playing some Deep Rock Galactic, which is a fun game. So I would probably not be good at esports, but that would definitely be a team. A group I would like to join for, because aren't they considered sport?
They are a sport.
Yep,
they are a sport
already. So that would probably do that.
Sounds good. So first-year coach Jerry Monner was extremely successful at his previous stop Grandview for 18 seasons. So in your first few months with Coach Monner, why do you think he's been so successful in his career?
Big thing is, like, he just has so much experience at, like, Grandview. I think he had, like, 18 years there. You could go, like, from place to place to place, bouncing around. You have to do all these other stuff. But you could see that he had a consistent program over and over and over and over again. That they just kept going back to him. And then, successful. And this weekend, we actually had Grandview at our same meet that we had. And you could tell, like, just how highly respected Coach Monner was by the entire Grandview team. Every time they saw him, just coming up to him and talking to him, asking how he is and everything like that. So I really expect that from him. And like, you could just tell that he's just going to be a great coach for our program. He's starting us all out. He's just trying to say, just like mental health and then just physical health and, getting in shape, getting everybody going in the same track and everything like that. So it's really going good so far. And I'm absolutely in love that we got him as a coach.
I mean, it's just making the team closer, making them a better team because, like, just the tiny things. Like, I know we were getting off the bus and he's like, okay, guys, we're meeting as a team at 10:45 and we're going to break out as a team. It's like, it's just the little things because typically, like, runners and throwers and, like, everywhere, like, everyone's spread out throughout the track meet. So, like, we're not all going to be seeing each other. So just having us break out as a team, it's just like, that's a step in the right direction because, that's what track and field might be, like an individual to you, but, like, it's still a team. We're all still Cornell Rams. So I think that was just a little thing I noticed from, like, yesterday's meet that, stuck out to me.
So for those unfamiliar with throwers in track and field, what exactly does meet day look like for you two?
It's a very brutal schedule. First of all, you got to get out of bed. That is absolute number one. Our throwing coach prefers we get down there, roughly a half an hour to an hour early. Just getting all the equipment, implements, medicine balls, just to warm up with and just get ready for the meet. But it's honestly pretty. Like I said, it's pretty hard because you gotta pack all your snacks too. Like yesterday, I had a bag full of peanut M&Ms. Was it the toasted Cheez-Its, and then a pound of beef jerky? Because
only the necessities, of
only
course.
The necessities, all right. Because you are throwing with a bunch of other bigger boys, and first of all, you guys we all think the same, all right. We all like food, all right. We all tell, our greatest, bathroom journey we've ever had. It's like, oh, yeah, no, I had a bunch of deep fried, fish last night. And, man, I was in there for, 2 hours, and it was a brutal war. So you get to the meet, and, you got to empty the system. And then, you start stretching and getting warmed up after that, and then away you go. After you're done throwing, you get to chillax a little bit, cheer on your other throwers. Have that, pound of beef jerky that I was talking about earlier. So it's more snack and field than anything. So
Is there anything more to say than that?
I think he covered it.
Okay, so what are the training demands? I went into meet day just a minute ago, but how about for training? How does that go as far as for other track and field athletes? What are similarities and also some differences?
So I'm probably, me and Natalie McAllister, another runner on the team, we're the most different of everybody else on the team because we're multi. So we'll be over here, we'll be jumping over here, then we'll go over and do our sprint workouts over here. Then we have to go throws, and sometimes we have to do all three in a day. Maybe just 2 times in a day. That's nice. Just getting it all out of the way. But it's just all the little things that we have to go around and just making sure everything's at the top of top of our game and everything like that. We just gotta. Just a little bit training here, the throwers, they'll throw X amount of reps, and then we'll come over after we're done with our running, and then we'll go Y amount of reps, just a little bit less amount of reps, just because we're going to be tired, and if you just have the same amount of reps, then you're not going to have the higher quality, and it's all about quality when it comes to throwing these implements. So it all just kind of varies who you are, and how your body's feeling. If you're banged up a little bit, you're going to want to do a little bit less and just rehab and everything like that. But if you're feeling good and want to do more, just keep doing all the little things. In between throws, maybe drill out on the side, get your feet work going well or something like that. And just the little things that you can adjust by yourself without even a coach having to tell you what to do.
I agree with that statement.
You agree with that statement? Okay, well, that's good. So throughout your 4 years on the Hilltop, what is your favorite track and field memory? You've mentioned that you have all sorts of different events that you participate in, Nathan. So is there one memory that you can identify as your favorite, or just kind kind of a culmination of things?
So I have two like major ones. So my sophomore year, like that was our first like real big COVID year that we were able to like have an outdoor conference. We were at Monmouth, and with that time we had 10 teams on our conference, and they split up our conference, 5 teams in one meet, 5 teams in another meet. But then they allowed, no matter what, like top 3 of each event at both conference got all conference. So there was, double the amount of all conferences that year. And our 4x1 team, like Cade Cohen, he got injured a couple weeks before the meet, so he wasn't able to run. So we had a cross-country kid coming out of blocks. And if you know anything about track and field, that's the worst thing to do, to have a cross-country kid come out of blocks, because we just don't train them, because they don't need them. So they have no reason to. So, that we had a big obstacle there. Sam O'Hara, he tweaked his hamstring in warm-up, so he kind of hobbled his leg of the journey. And then it was Jake Anglican and then myself to finish off the race. And when I got my baton, a baton from another lane crossed my face. I'm like, all right, we got 4th, but didn't get last. And as I crossed the finish line, Monmouth's guy, he didn't have a baton. So if there's only 3 teams left, that means we got all conference. So that was just absolutely insane. I actually tackled my coach at the time into the high jump mat. It wasn't a great decision, but I did tackle him into the mat. And then the other time we were at Mount Mercy, and the wind was blowing in on a discus, which is really good for discus because it'll get it farther. And just the atmosphere of all the other throwers from all the other colleges just like yelling and just like let's go and everything, that encouraging everyone. Like not a like negative thing was said that day. Everyone was encouraging, everybody was PRing, everyone had huge throws. It was like the most like electric event I've ever seen at any college meet or any high school meet. It was just absolutely insane.
How about you, Brevin? Do you have any favorite memories from the Hilltop?
So I have been on the team for 2 years, but mine aren't as, exciting as Nate's, but it was more of a funny story. So last year we got Cornell early, and last year it was Nate Waters, Andrew and Matthew Corley and me in the quad in Olin, room 21, if everybody lived there. So we decided, actually no, it was January, so we did our gift exchange. Nate decided to give us matching onesie pajamas, just red and black pajamas. So we had that already, it was like, oh, a cute little room thing, whatever, but they were planning, was it like a...
It was their inner squad meet. Like it was just like a little tune-up meet before the next meet the next week.
So we all had our teams, and so Nate thought it would be funny to have 3 throwers and him run a
4x4.
4x4. See, I ran a Waitman 4x1, which is just a straightaway of like an outdoor track, but like I didn't know like a 4x4 like that's 300 more meters than 100. So, and then our other bright idea was to wear the onesies. So, that was pretty cool. And then our other great idea after that was to race with not a baton, but a
foot-long summer sausage.
Foot-long summer sausage. So, we showed up in onesies with a foot-long summer sausage to race against our teammates.
100% cotton pajama onesies.
And this was like when the arena was going through they destroyed the old sports center, so it was a little toasty in there and musty. So I started off the race, and I don't know how to pace myself, so I lean over to the guy left of me. The worst part is I don't remember who it was because it was like my first time seeing the track team. So I'm like, okay, so how do you run these things exactly? And he's like, oh, you just go as fast as you can at the start of the race. As fast as you can at the start of the race. So I booked it. Now, me booking it is equivalent to all the other runners just, starting off slow. So I'm booking it, barely keeping up to the slow starts. I get halfway around our track, not even halfway, but a fourth of the way around, and I'm like, this is awful. Awful. Why did I do this? Who talked me into this? And I was sucking air so bad. And, I was getting, I didn't get lapped. I got, quadruple lapped. And then I finally handed it off to another thrower. I think it was Andrew?
Andrew was next.
Andrew Corley was the next guy. Now, we're all the same size, so we all did the exact same thing. We all got lapped and whatever. It got to Nate, and then Nate didn't run the best because he's too busy laughing at us while we were just, laying on the ground, trying to breathe. But we won because no one had a proper uniform and we had our onesies. So, and after that, we all started eating the summer sausage we had. So that was my one glorious memory.
Well, that's really funny. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
So athletes often face challenges in their sporting careers that assist them in everyday life. So what lessons have you learned from track and field that apply to your life outside of sports?
Yeah, so for us, like the past few years, we've had like a really small team. And like we still kind of have a smaller team this year, compared to all the other teams. And like, you just have to realize that you do have a small team, and then you just have to go like, all right, what can we focus on right now that will help us like win the most? Because we're not gonna be able to have like 8 people running like 12 different events, because that's just not logical. People are going to get tired. People are going to get hurt at that rate. Like it's just not smart. You got to plan out like what you're going to do with who and where and what. Starting out, just like, all right, this guy can maybe run this. We'll give him a break after these events, and then he can run this relay and then finish off with this. Well, these guys do this and that. And there's just all these different like little decisions you have to make between like, all right, maybe I'm feeling this today and then maybe not this. And that's a big step. Because like when I'm trying to help out down at sports center and like kids are all gone at their sports playing games, but we still have home events that I have to help take care of and everything like that. We have to be like, all right, we will only have these few amount of kids. Where can we like have one less person here and bring them over here to work with? So that's one of the biggest things that I've had to help with when it's come to track and field, taken outside of the sport itself.
I would just say it just kind of taught me how to be more encouraging to everybody, just because not everyone's going to have their best meet. Like it's always fun to PR, but also we there's been times to where for throwing example, if you scratch one of your better throws and stuff, that clearly would have got you a PR, but sometimes you'll tumble out of the ring, or sometimes the refs aren't always the best at you touched the top, oh no, you're out. I'm like, okay, and so that, someone can get down on themselves a little bit. So just being a better teammate and okay, it's hey, you got this. Just give them knuckles or something that. That's what I've been told. It's it helps.
So Nathan, you are kind of technologically savvy. Not kind of, you are very technologically savvy. So where did these skills come from? Working webcasts, helping with that, and other things.
Yeah, I just had just a little basic knowledge coming out of high school, because I took a couple of computer classes, took a couple of online engineering classes, so I was able to work with the computer some, and then figure out stuff like that. And then my freshman year here, my boss at the time, Steve Adams, was like, hey, would you ever want to run the web stream? I've never tried it before. Let me try it out. So then I went down, a week or two in a row, and just for an hour a day, just fumbled and messed with everything, and just to see what is going on. And then eventually you just start picking up on little things. You're just all right, if I add this in here and turn up this, and then all right, this is gonna work. And there's basically just kind of the same thing I just said about the track and field taking it otherwise. You have to see what you have and then what you're able to accomplish, because we all want to have the professional full NBA games, NFL games for all of our sports here at Cornell. But realistically, that's going to be so far off in money and time and effort and resources, it's not going to be worth it. So you have to see what you can do here, what you can change here, and then go from there. And then just little changes in between. And then that's how you get better with all these things.
From my experiences, what you're doing, obviously. Now as a senior, you've got it all figured out. So I appreciate everything that you do.
I thought you got it from Farming Simulator.
Farming Simulator, yep.
So now it's time to catch our audience up to speed. What do you make of the first 2 meets of the 2022-2023 indoor season for the track and field programs? What are the good things that you've seen from the teams?
Biggest thing so far is all the first years coming out getting to experience their first ever collegiate meet. Most of them, even if you did good to go see one, seeing a track meet and competing in a track meet, 2 completely different things. So that's the biggest thing. Everyone's getting all their jitters out. You don't have to worry about the next meet and everything like that. And for all the returners, just breaking off the rust, because not everybody's going to be at their peak, setting PRs right away in the first meet on an indoor meet. When we were just getting out from outdoor season and stuff like that. So, just everybody getting right back into the flow, feeling the ride again, just going, starting a bar and then being able to build up from there. So that's the biggest thing, and then, we're getting all the teams together now from cross country, and then all the football guys coming over from the, mostly on the throws team, and a couple other. And then women's basketball, we got a couple girls coming to eventually come over to us as well. So just team bonding as well, everybody coming together and, getting to know everyone, because, so some people don't know everyone, and this is a perfect time for everyone to meet one another and just, become a family, essentially.
Definitely just, like getting the rust off, and then also performing in front of a crowd. And then when you're about to throw, you have music going on in the back of your head, because, they decided to start playing music for the track meet. And when you're about to throw and Queen starts singing in the back of your head, "Don't Stop Me Now," having a good time. Yeah, no, it's like no, just getting the rust off, like Nate said, and then having to perform in that. And then the freshmen, I mean, I think they might be more used to like outdoor, like not. It might be a big crowd there, but it's not like all indoor. Then it's definitely, the volume's definitely amped up a lot more. But no, I think they handled that pretty well yesterday. I know we had a lot of PRs, and then we have didn't Natalie break the record?
Natalie McAllister broke the school record for the 60 hurdles.
Yeah. So
congratulations to Natalie. Yeah.
I almost did that, but
just need that onesie, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so what are kind of the things that you've identified that we can improve on going forward? The men's track and field team was picked third in the preseason poll. The women's team was picked sixth. So what is the number one thing that you can kind of see that we need to improve on to keep going to that next level?
A big thing for us is we lost three male sprinters on the male side, and that's a pretty big loss, because that was 3/4 of our 4x1 team, and then 3/4 of our 4x2 team. So we don't need anyone to step up. We just need people just to know that there's a vacancy there and work towards that. All right. So we know that there's going to be a big hole there. We know we gotta where we gotta get. And we know like where other teams are running. So we just gotta come together and just be like, all right, this is what we have to do, and then just do it. Like, as simple as that.
I know on the throwing side, we have 3 seniors that graduated this last year: Brock Flack, Brad Pace, and Taylor Cruz. And so it's just the next wave of seniors stepping up and being leaders. Which I think I've done a pretty good job, but it's just some big shoes to fill sometimes. So.
Okay, you're both seniors now, so what is the next step for each of you after college? What are you kind of thinking about going forward after leaving the Hilltop?
Definitely for me, with all my experience, like helping set up, sporting events down here at, the athletic center, and, just doing everything I've done here. Like, I definitely want to be within the realm of sports. And then hopefully I want to go back, closer to home, just so I could, be close to my family, because, it's family. You want to stay close to them and everything like that. So if I can find a job somewhere like kind of like that, that's what I would like to get. I'm getting a business degree, so I basically can go wherever I want, even if I don't do get into sports. But I would like to try it out. But if it doesn't work, that's okay. Not everything's meant to be. But I have a lot of options for me right now. Mm-hmm. So.
Probably for me, extra schooling to be an athletic trainer. Because, I got my kinesiology degree. It's definitely been a very fun journey here, especially with our professors. And so I'm probably going to have to take a year off, though, because, I can't school for 5 years in a row. Come on.
That's too much to ask.
That's too much. And especially, I took homework off for the year, so I can't.
You're taking a homework red shirt?
Yeah, pretty much. That, but probably the funny side of me would say after college I would go, live in a van down by the river. Good old Chris Farley.
Okay, well, I appreciate both of your answers on that. And so now let's hit the music and go into a bit of recap and preview for events for Cornell College Rams. So let's hit the music. So let's begin with a Rams recap. The wrestling team was competing in the Citrus Invitational in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. They ended up finishing 5th in the 16-team field. The Rams had 5 place winners in the tournament, so congratulations to the wrestling team on a successful trip to Florida. The men's basketball team, the final day of 2022, won at Wartburg. They had to overcome a 6-point halftime deficit en route to the 73-70 win. The Rams had 3 players in double figures. Fifth-year senior point guard Jordan Mignani, in 38 minutes of action, shot 50% from the field and tallied 21 points. Zach Engel chipped in 14 points. Jaden Meeker was 6 for 10 from the field, scoring 13 points and grabbing 7 rebounds. So a great win to close out the year for the Rams in 2022. For the women's basketball team, they were on fire from deep against the Lake Forest Foresters inside the SAW. I think you were working that game, Nathan. So what did you see out of the women's basketball team from the Rams that game?
Yeah, I just saw a very hot start right out of the gate. Just knocking out every open shot that was available, and it was just really impressive to see. It was just really just a fun sight to see, because we also had a bunch of students up in the bleachers, and it was just good to see everyone there and supporting the teams and everything like that.
Yeah, to add on to that, the Rams shot 15 for 37 from three-point range. 15 three-point makes. Wow, that was impressive. And that win improved their record at the time to 5-0 in the conference. So a great job by the Rams. The men's basketball team later that day had to come back from a 22-point deficit. Just great rallying in that second half after trailing. Unfortunately, they lost by 1 in overtime, but credit to the team for battling back. They never thought they were out of it. It was just a real credit to the team and testament to the coaching philosophy from the Rams to force overtime in that game. The women's basketball team faced a very tough opponent at Knox. It was a tough, undefeated Prairie Fire team in the conference, so the Rams ended up losing that game by 27. And then they responded well in the Saturday game, which I'll get to here in a minute. The men's basketball team absolutely dominated the second half at the Prairie Fire. They only led by 2 at halftime, but they outscored the Prairie Fire 41-18 in the second half. Zach Engel tallied a career-high 24 points. This past Saturday, it was a busy slate for the Rams. We'll begin with the wrestling team. There were 16 teams in Mount Vernon for that invitational. The Rams had some place winners. Gabriel Smith at 157, placed third. Casey Allen at 165, was undefeated, and he placed second. Jacob Scherzer at 174, placed second. A nice showing by the Rams in a field loaded with top 25 programs. And now let's get to the men's and women's track and field programs in action this past Saturday. We've got Nathan and Brevin here. They were competing in the Henkinius Open. Were there any things that you have to add on to our previous discussion on, as we record on Sunday, it was yesterday's meet?
Basically just the same as the men's side. I mean, it was just really nice getting all the first years out there, just getting all the nerves out of the way, and then, returners are, getting back and breaking off all the rust and everything like that. Already, Natalie McCallish is breaking a school record. That's never a bad thing.
Always a successful day when that happens.
Yep. Never complain about a school record being broken. And, just a bunch of positivity all around. All the women's team was supporting the men's team. The men's team was all supporting the women's team. And it was just a really nice, fun sight to see for both teams coming together.
And also in action in the SAW yesterday, the women's basketball team, as I mentioned earlier, they responded well from a tough loss on Wednesday. They ended up beating Lawrence University, who gave them everything they could handle and more. They were ahead, the Vikings were, by 1 as 1 minute remained, but Madison Osborne made a 3-point shot with about 50 seconds left, and that gave the Rams the lead that they never relinquished. Kaylee March iced the game by making free throws down the stretch, and so the Rams are now 7-7 overall and 6-1 in the Midwest Conference. So shout out to Coach Brazzi and the team on a great start to conference play. The men's basketball team faced a talented Vikings squad also on Saturday, a team coached by Cornell graduate Casey Korn. So shout out to Coach Korn over at Lawrence. He's doing a great job. He's got a great young team. Cornell was down by 7, but they went on a 7-0 run to tie the game at the end of regulation. The rally was capped by Jordan Mignani's layup with 4 seconds left. What a clutch shot. He drove to the basket, laid it up off the glass. It was just perfect and exactly what you want out of your veteran leader. The Rams ended up outscoring Lawrence 14-9 in overtime, and they got the win. So congratulations to Coach Dave Schlabaugh, the entire staff, and the team on a great win. Upcoming on the calendar for the Rams, the men's basketball team and women's basketball team will both be in action. We record, as I said, on Sunday. So on Tuesday, they will be playing at Monmouth, a couple of tough teams from the Fighting Scots, so we'll see what happens in those games. The wrestling team visits Iowa Wesleyan on Thursday. Men's and women's track and field in the Hilltop Invitational. So, as you mentioned earlier, we want fans to come out and support the teams. So what are we looking for in the Hilltop Invitational? Nathan, we'll start with you.
We're expecting a lot of good competition. There should be about 6 other teams coming in here, and for an indoor facility having 6 other teams, this is going to be a very packed house from both the teams, and all the parents and all the fans and everything like that. It's going to be a really just very energetic and everything like that. We got new equipment all the way around for all the sections of the team. So we're going to break out the brand new equipment. It's going to be a really nice opportunity for all the recruits to come in and see just a great new facility that we have and all the new improvements we're making, everything, all the positivity that we're gaining. So it's going to be really exciting, really fun, and we're really looking forward to it and hoping, setting some more PRs today.
How about you, Brevin? Is that pretty much what we're looking for?
Pretty much it. I mean, make sure to bring your Hardee's from Mount Vernon.
Okay.
It'll be a fun little meet we're going to have.
And that starts at 11 a.m. So we do invite you to join us inside the SAW to support Nathan, Brevin, and the entire teams. Looking ahead down the road on the Cornell Rams calendar, the men's and women's basketball teams, a couple of weeks from now on Wednesday, will be hosting Illinois College. The men's game will be a very tough opponent. Illinois College is 14-1 as it currently stands. We do invite you to join us. We could use your support inside the SAW. So that's your look at the Cornell Rams calendar, and good luck to all of the Rams as they go into their next events, and congratulations on all the wins and PRs and everything that's happened so far. So, a special thank you as we wrap this up to Brevin, to Nathan for joining me inside the Hedges conference room as my co-hosts. And as you heard from the first episode, we recorded in the academic technology studio. And so there ended up being a little bit of a challenge with that. So for those of you wondering, yes, it was not planned that we were in the Hedges conference room, but Rams are resilient. We're resilient and we make the most of what we have. And so here we are. And thank you so much for tuning in. We got some great things. We got Hardee's. We got, chocolate ice cream is the way to go. Snack and Field, the onesies. I feel like we really broke some new ground here on the Hilltop Sports Report. So keep an eye out on the Cornell Rams website, social media platforms for the Rams, and also me on Twitter at JumpinJack123. We'll let you know when the next episode will drop, so keep an eye out for that. So thanks again to Nathan and to Brevin for joining me on this episode of the Hilltop Sports Report. My name is Jumpin' Jack Carlson, speaking on behalf of the Cornell College Rams, saying, I'll see you next time.